Welcome to my Sitecore Diaries, your ultimate guide to digital experience excellence, your go-to channel for all the things in .NET and Sitecore. So today's video is in the series top 5 design patterns. So in last video we have seen singleton pattern. Today we are going to see a factory method. Who I am? I am Jitendra Ghanekar. I am in Sitecore MVP Technology 2024. I am an architect in Mumbai. I have given all my social media accounts on the screen. If you can follow me, you can subscribe me on those and connect with me for different questions or anything which is related to .NET and Sitecore. So what we are going to see in this video? First, we will see what is factory pattern. Then we will see how to use it with the demo. Then we will see what are the few common use cases where we can use the factory method. Then we will see pros and cons of factory methods, and at the end we will see why it is called as a factory method. So before moving ahead on this topic, let me request you, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and click on a notification bell to get a latest update. If you like the video, please do share this with your friends and colleagues who like to learn about the design patterns. So let's start today's topic, the factory method pattern. Okay, so what is factory pattern? The factory pattern defines an interface for creating an object. So it is an interface for creating an object, but allows subclasses to alter the type of objects. So subclasses can alter the type of objects which is getting created, that will be created. This pattern lets a class differ instantaneously to subclasses, promoting a loose coupling by eliminating the need to bind application specific classes into the code. So you do not have to bind the application specific class. Instead of that, it promotes the loose coupling. Okay, so how it is done, that we will see in upcoming slides and the demo. So how does it works? You will have, say, let's take an example of a product. You might have the you need to create one interface. Say let's call iProduct. It might have some methods, okay, in the your interface. Then those has to be you have to create the concrete classes. Like you can have a different product. So product A and product B are your actual classes which will have a actual implementation. Okay, now your client want to create the objects product A and product B. So how it will be done? So these your client will call the product factory. So what is product factory? It is another class, okay, which will help you to create the classes of your main class, like product and products. Okay, so there is a method called getProduct which will create an instance, and the output which is given by them is the product type, iProduct type. So this is how it works. Okay, it will be more clear when we will go to the demos. Okay, so let's go to demo and see how it works in the Visual Studio itself. Okay, so I'm now in the Visual Studio. So let's see a factory method. So as we seen, we have to create first the interface. Like I have created here a interface iProduct, and there are two proper methods here we are defining. One is a get price, which will give the price of the product, and second is a get product name. Now this interface we will be implementing, as interface is just define the methods. Okay, it's just a signature. So actually a concrete implementation, we have a two product here, product A and product B. So if I open the product A, I am inheriting iProduct here. Okay, and then I am implementing these two method. Get price, it is returning the price 10.50. So for product A it is 10.50 rupees, and the get product name, so I am returning the product name as a product A. Okay, so this is for the product A, and then we have a product B. Again the price is 15.50, and then name is a product B. So this is the concrete implementation of the product. So if tomorrow you have a product C, you can add the product C also here. Then we have a product factory. Okay, and we are implementing get product method here, which is taking the product type. So depending on your product type, we are returning the different products. Okay, so here we have added the switch here, and in switch if case 1 then we are returning product A, in case 2 we are returning product B. By default we are returning product A, and that product is getting repeat that product is getting the return back. Okay, so this method is returning I product. Okay, so this is how the product initiation is concerned. Okay, this is how product is getting created. Now for a client we have a program here. Okay, this is our client. Now I want to create a different products. Okay, so what I have done is, first I am taking the input from the user, that if they want product A price, then they just put A one number. If they want B, then with 2. But if you see here, the product creation, the output which is getting is a single method. So it be just passing to the product factory a get product method a product type. So depending on the what the user want, the product will get written. So we are writing the which is the product and what is the price here. Okay, so again I'm repeating. As per our understanding, first we have to create the interface. So I have created an interface and defined the method which I want the actual concrete classes to be implemented. Okay, then I created the actual concrete class for product A and product B. So for product A, we can have a different calculations in the get price. Okay, product name I am returning, so every product A has a different name, product B has a different name. And then we have created a class called product factory, which has a method which initiate the object creation. Okay, so depending on the input, it returns the type of the different types of a products. Okay, and in the our client we are calling the single method, and depending on user input, that product will get differed. So I will just run it. So what it's saying, enter 1 for a product A price and 2 for a product B. I just enter 1. See, it is saying product A price is 10.5. Now let's do it for a see if I put the 2, what happens. It's saying product B price is 15.5. So if you check here in the main method, it doesn't aware what is product A and product B. It is just using the product factory in your client. It is just using a product factory to get the instance of the product. So this is your factory method implementation. So now we will see what are the common use cases. The first use case is a notification system. So an application needs to send a notification to user through various channels like email, SMS and push notification. So you have a notification system where you need to send the same notification with a multiple channels. Then you can go for the factory method. Logging system. In logging we already seen the singleton pattern we use, but on top of that we also use the factory pattern. For what purpose? A system needs to log messages to various destinations like files, database and external logging service. So you have a multiple destinations that you can go for the login system. Then you have a payment processing. So an e-commerce platform supports multiple payment methods like credit cards, PayPal and bank transfer. So in payment processing you will have a multiple channel. Then also you can use the factory method. Then at the last you can say a document management. A system needs to handle a different type of a document such as a Word documents, PDFs and Excel spreadsheet. So you have multiple channels again. So then in that case you can go for the factory method. So basically if you see overall use cases, wherever you will have a multiple channels, multiple sources, then you should prefer to go for the factory method. Now what are the different pros and cons of the factory method? First of all, we'll see pros. So flexibility and scalability. The new product type can be added without modifying the existing code, promoting the open close principle. So it promotes the open close principle. So if you see, we have a two product A, product B. If you want to add a product B, it can be easily added. So it's a flexible and scalable. Single responsibility principle. Responsibility of an instantiation is a separated from the client code and promoting cleaner code and separation of a concern. So how are you create an instance of an object that you do not have to give it to the your client? Okay, so it's a single responsibility principle which is followed. You will have a clean code in the factory method. Loose coupling reduces the dependency on specific classes, leading to more modular and testable code. So it will be more modular and testable code. So these are the three pros of the factory method: flexible and scalable, it follows single responsibility principle, and there is a loose coupling. What are the cons? Increase complexity. Adding a new classes and interfaces increase the complexity of the code base. So for creating an object, you're adding a new classes and interface, so that you add the complexity. Overhead. It may introduce an unnecessary overhead if the logic for creating instance is simple and doesn't require a factory method. So your logic of creation of object is simple, then it is an overhead to your code. Okay, so these are the cons. So pros and cons of the factory method. Now we will see at the end that why it is called as a factory method. So factory concept. So in factory concept, in the real world, manufacturing a factory is a place where products are created. So in a factory, your products are getting created. Similarly, in this method, we are creating the instance of an object, creating an object, right? So instance of a class. So we are creating the manufacturing the objects. Okay, so that's the reason it's a concept of factory which is implemented. Encapsulation of object creation. Just like a physical factory hides the complex process of making a product, so in factory you are not aware what is happening inside, so that is complex process get hide. So factory method also encapsulates the creation of a logic, hides it from the client. So you are hiding the logic of creation of an object from the client. So client code simply calls a factory method without needing to know the details of the creation process. Client do not need how the object is getting created. Okay, so this is encapsulation of a object creation. And at the end, method based creation. So unlike other creation patterns, the factory method pattern specifically involves creating the object through a method. We have seen we are creating the object through the method. This method can be overridden in a subclasses to change the type of object that are created. In subclasses, you can override that method to change the type of the object which is getting created. Okay, so these are the reason why it is called as a factory method. All right, we are done. This is the second design pattern, factory method. If you like the video, please click on the like button and do share this with your friends and colleagues. Do provide your feedback via the comment. If there is anything which I miss, you want to cover, that I can do that in the next video. So you can mention that. Any specific design pattern which you want to understand, you can comment that also, and can give the feedback about the video also. And till now, if you are not subscribed to the channel, then do consider subscribing to the channel and click on the bell icon to get a latest update. Thank you. Thanks for watching.